1, 2, 3, go!
Making a first impression.
You're gonna be great.
I don't like him.
Couldn't get any worse.
Oh, wow, that's quite a hit piece.
Come on now, it was the 70s.
Right. Peeples. Sounds like a bad black comedy. Oh, wait a minute, it is.
Well, I mean, clearly, it was somebody saying, like, man, we need to make the black version of Meet the Parents, but we'll call it Meet the Peoples. We'll make it a sitcom on UPN. Let's just make it one movie.
Oh, yeah.
And they said, we'll make it so black that we're even going to change the spelling of it. Peeples, because that's how we spell it.
You know, they're like, damn, Negroes can't read anyway. You know, they pronounce this shit phonetically.
And better yet, wait, did you say we need to get black people in the theater?
Yeah.
It's time to spell that Tyler Perry name right in the front.
I mean, whenever somebody can make you money by that name, they always say, Spielberg don't have to direct a thing. They always say, Steven Spielberg presents. Really, when I saw the trailer for this, I said, why do I feel like I'm back in the 90s? Like I'm watching a bad WB show? I mean,
because they use all the same music.
Well, they use the same music. The title is a throwback to that. In fact, the title is so ethnic that this would be something that somebody would make fun of in a movie. They would actually have a white person come in and try to pitch a black comedy, and they say, well, what's the name of it? We're going to call it Peeples. And it's like, and then we'd be like, oh, that's funny, because they would never do that in real life. Mad. Another reason why I was mad when I saw the trailer is because of the premise of it. You have Craig Robinson, who plays a guy who's dating Kerry Washington, and right there, I'm like, believability out the window.
Well, now, Craig Robinson, the actor, the comedian, the getting more successful guy. Sure, it's not out of the question that he could date a woman that hot. But Craig Robinson, the practically out-of-work children's entertainer that he plays in this movie?
I'm talking about the movie.
No.
Yeah. Craig Robinson, the actor, yes. Yeah. Anybody who has money can get a fine chick.
Yeah. Not Craig Robinson, Judd Apatow's only black friend.
Yeah, that's right. I'm mad as hell about this, man. Craig Robinson looked like a bear with an afro, man. Sit up here dating Kerry Washington.
Hey, man, but it made me feel good because I'm like, well, look, if he's in there, that means I got a shot.
No, because that is a movie. Have we established already?
I just got to make a movie.
That's another alternative universe.
Movie, Korey.
Yeah, that's a man with talent, Leon. A man with talent.
I don't care. Get Kerry Washington.
If I'm writing a movie, I'm gonna fuck Kerry Washington. You not.
I don't like the way this is going, because the next thing we know, you're gonna be like the Korey hands down. We're gonna say every Tyler Perry movie is great.
Yeah. I already have the movie done. Of course, I'm going to be the handsome black lead. Leon, you'll be my black sidekick comedy relief. and Cyrus, you will be my only white friend.
Yeah,
you'll be the white friend. He'll be the white friend that your magic will work on to make him a better person.
No,
hey guys, can I be that one person in every black movie he's always the racist?
No.
I want to be the mystical, magical Caucasian.
Ain't nothing magical about Caucasians. Come on.
Well, we made a deal with somebody magical.
But Craig Robinson plays Wade Walker, man. He's dating this girl named Grace Peeples. That's where the movie comes from, because of the last name of Grace's family, who are a bunch of bougie black folks. Not all of them, but the dad definitely. Played by what's his name?
David
Allen Greer. I tell you what, if you've seen David Allen Greer, he's got a little bougie himself, man. He's on Broadway now. I remember when he used to be a comedian.
He got bougie. He's always been he's a classically trained actor. He's always had that,
especially on In Living Color.
Yeah. Well, he fits this role here. He's so bougie. His name is Virgil in the movie. And in this movie, like you said, Leon, it's pretty much they took Meet the Parents and dipped it in chocolate and came out with this. And
just added more family members.
Yeah, Dad, it's the same thing, man. It's the same thing.
This gentleman just washed ashore, and he says he knows you.
Yes. This is Wade Walker, everybody.
Guilty.
Yeah, and he's my friend.
Oh, how wonderful.
Yeah. And also, we are in a relationship.
Excuse me. A relationship?
Dad, I'm sure I mentioned I was seeing a Wade.
No, I don't remember that.
I mean, one of the things I liked about Meet the Parents, I like Meet the Parents, because Meet the Parents, say what you will about it. Yeah, it's a broad comedy, but it stayed focused.
Yes.
I mean, it stayed on that story. Say what you will about the sequels, which are horrible, but Meet the Parents, I like that they stuck to the theme. This movie's too busy trying to be cute.
Well, like Meet the Parents had all these little subplots that ended up actually going somewhere and tying back into the main story. Here, the subplots, like half of them were just like, why did you even put this in here? Like the thing with the lesbian sister, like the way that comes to, and her little thing with like his friend. You're like, what? Why is this in this movie? Is this Tyler Perry being uncomfortable about gay people?
Because that's just a bunch of jokes. Some of them fit the story, and some of the subplots. What I'm saying by being cute, there's just jokes that somebody thought it was funny, and whether it fit in the movie or not, they just threw them in, which makes the movie, in essence, padded out.
I'm telling you, this has all the earmarks of a sitcom series.
Yeah,
and somebody wrote a bunch of jokes for what would have been a series, and when it came down to it, they couldn't do it. Put it on television. They said, "Well, we'll just take some from here and take some from there," and that's why I feel so scattershot. Like it starts out with a premise, and you think it's going to stay focused, as in, Meet the Parents. But then it goes over here for this gag, and it goes out of its way for that gag. And the thing with the lesbian sister and her girlfriend, that's supposed to be a secret. They reveal it too early, and then really reveal it, and then it's still lingering around, and it's still trying to like mine jokes out of it. Yeah. If you had a series going, you might touch on it in the first episode and come back to it in episode 4. But here, it's just all over the place.
And all those characters become just one-note characters, especially when you realize what they're all about. And yeah, you're right. I mean, this movie is completely scatterbrained, because there was times where it seemed like, okay, they were trying to focus in on this guy trying to like win over this family, that they have all their own issues that apparently everyone's been kind of, keeping under the covers to the point where the father doesn't even know. Yet you're like, okay, I'm kind of getting in with this. Let's see where this is going to go. And when they realize that they come to just a bump in the road, what do? They go into weird acts of just songs, and it was strange watching.
It's vignettes, man. That's all. And some of them, they repeat a lot of things that annoy me about these kind of comedies, which they do once in here, and that's not funny. But then they go and do it about 2 or 3 more times. There's about 3 montages in this movie, which, like I said, the first one's not even funny, and you can see some in the trailer. Like when Craig Robinson comes upon Mama Peeples, whatever her name is.
Essie Patha Murkison is the actress.
What language you speak?
Wow.
That's Swahili?
Man, I know you just got back from London.
Essie Patha Murkison. No, I know. She plays Daphne Peeples. Yeah, she plays the wife of Virgil. And it turns out at one time she was part of a 70s all-woman soul band, and she wore a lot of crazy headgear. You saw in the trailer where Craig Robinson put that headgear on, and he does this whole thing of looking in the camera and singing. It's painful to watch it in the trailer. It's longer in the movie. They go for humor that is embarrassing for even a sitcom, I think.
Well, even like a scene like that, what was weird about it is that it wasn't a Judd Apatow movie, because like the lower Judd Apatow movies always have something like that in it. And I don't know if Craig Robinson brought that over with him to this movie to say like, no, trust me, this is going to work. And it doesn't. It's not fun.
I felt embarrassed for him. It was like, it seemed like you could tell he was ad-libbing it right on the spot. Even to the point where that little dance number that he starts doing, where he starts singing like that, like the mother, they bring in lights, they bring in all these effects, and I'm like, wow,
they bring in production.
Yeah, they bring down the production to where you're like, this doesn't make any sense, because it does add up to anything having to relate to this movie whatsoever. Besides, let's see how goofy we can make this scene.
It's weird. You guys seem a lot more irritated by all these things than me. I think it really is just at a sitcom level. I'm going, okay, there's nothing here I haven't seen before. Nothing. Like everything, except for, of course, points that are bafflingly bad writing with the way that the stories come together.
Yeah.
Like, well, usually people tie it up a little better than that. But I do think that there was a certain amount of strength to Craig Robinson himself, who is probably the poorest actor out of everyone here. And yet he does have a sort of weird charm to him that you do root for him regardless. And the fact that I keep wanting to say David Ogden Stier. David Alan Grier.
Call him Dag.
David Alan Grier is like one of the best scowlers in the business.
Well, he's what kept me from hating this movie, because I thought it started out pretty weak, and I was like, dang, I remember watching the trailer thinking I might like this, and then once he comes on, I'm like, all right, he's what I like, because you're right, he finds different ways to scowl or have that look, or just little barbs here and there, or you just see his face, and that would make me genuinely laugh out loud.
Agreed.
But you know what? There's points where that scowl was funny after a while, but after the 10th time, I was like, okay, I guess this is all this character's about.
I can tell you why, and I can tell because I'm like you, man. I don't totally hate this movie because even though I thought it was weak, I thought it did start out kind of funny. I mean, I was having some genuine laughs in spots here and there because of David Alan Grier being such an asshole to Craig Robinson. Another thing I agree with you on, I don't understand the success of Craig Robinson. That motherfucker must have blew somebody. I mean, because he is a weak actor. He's funny, but he
has a natural charm.
He does. I guess I guess when you see him, it never feels like he's acting.
He's good
because he can't.
Yeah, he's good. He's good on The Office, but the thing is, when you watch The Office, you realize how sporadic.
Yeah, they use him sparingly.
Yeah, to carry a movie like this, it doesn't work all the way. But see, in the beginning, when David Alan Grier came in, was giving Craig Robinson that scowl, it was funny because he was. Look, it's funny watching dads be assholes to like guys who want to date their daughters. That's what made Meet the Parents so funny.
Right, exactly.
Robert De Niro's a total asshole, but it's funny to watch him fuck with Ben Stiller, and that's what's funny to watch.
It works. Both things work in both movies. It's that setup. It's watching a guy try so hard and fumble with his desperation, and the guy he's trying to impress just to see him at the worst moment possible. Like that's enjoyable.
Just to make him squirm.
Yeah. And all that gets completely undercut, which is actually kind of starting to work. I mean, we've seen it before, but you're like, okay, it's keeping me amused enough where I'm not bored. When it all gets undercut when they bring in his Craig Robinson's best friend.
Actually, that's his brother. That's his brother.
Who's for some reason decided to come in because I think he thinks there's going to be a hot chick there or something, and just shows up, and suddenly we see David Alan Grier act like a complete moron whenever he's around this guy. You're like, well, you just totally destroyed everything about him that made him funny, like the standoffishness of him.
Well, the reason why I think it's the first half is funnier than the second half is because David Alan Grier is in the background staring Craig Robinson down. He's talking shit to him. Hey, Mr. Peeples, call me Judge. Really, just being a dick. And what they're leading you to believe is that there's going to be some rivalry that's going to happen because as the movie goes along, Craig Robinson starts to discover little secrets that he could use against David Alan Grier. And you're thinking, okay, look, it's not going to be the most original thing that I've seen, but it's going to be fun to watch these two guys go head to head. And that rivalry never comes up.
You don't get to see those fireworks happen at all.
It doesn't. They go. That's what I'm saying. Instead of going for an actual rivalry where you not only would it be funny to see these guys go head to head, but you're kind of rooting for Craig Robinson to do this too. But it never goes to that. Instead, they do stupid stuff like end up in a tent where they're having David Alan Grier is challenging Craig Robinson to walk on coals, which he never does. It just culminates in a joke where he burns the tent down.
Yeah, and those scenes seem to come out of nowhere. It seems like there was something leading up to that moment, yet it was cut in the final process of making the movie. And but the thing is, seeing those fireworks happen, that's kind of what you're building up for. That's what you're hoping for. And I thought there was plenty of moments, especially with a lot of the family. There's this whole subplot going on with the sister that is there to basically come out to her family to introduce her friend or her quote unquote friend who's actually her girlfriend. I was waiting for something like that to just kind of blow up in that dad's face too, to see how he would handle that. And they really just throw that to the side. It becomes its own unusual, weird joke that turned into a threesome that I didn't get.
Well, and that's kind of what happens throughout the movie. It's like the main thing that should be funny, they don't invest enough in, they don't have the material for it. So they go like, well, we got so many crazy family members, we can focus on them. And yet they don't bring any of those stories to a place where they're good. All they do is just water down everything else. And so it ends up being enough. And even Kerry Washington's character, who's this great actress who seems to always get the short end of the stick in these movies. Like she's there and then she disappears for a while. But they even undercut her in that they like, oh, well, in her past, she dated old men and got arrested and did all this crazy shit to the point where it's like, well, gosh, you're kind of devaluing the prize that this guy's is fighting for. Like,
well, yeah, and also I felt like Craig Robinson, they're trying so hard to make him the nicest guy in the world that those little bits where he slip up, they're just not that interesting, really. It's like, at least in Meet the Parents, you actually saw that side, the ugly side of Ben Stiller pop up into where he couldn't control himself versus this guy. He was getting competitive and even a little nasty versus him at points, which you can't blame him. Here, Craig Robinson is trying so hard just to do the right thing. He didn't even consider using those secrets against her dad. Yeah. You know? He's like, no, of course I wouldn't do that. You're like, but you should. And when the film finally goes, fuck, we're going to have to tie this up. I mean, it falls back on the most tired, cliched stuff on some things. I mean, literally, to make this guy escalate this into a confrontation, they've got to have one of those, oops, accidentally took drugs situations.
Okay. In a cheap-ass drama or thriller, well, not thriller, but a cheap-ass drama, somebody brings out a gun, and you're like, all right, this is going to end that way. And when it's a comedy, somebody takes drugs by mistake.
Yeah, by mistake. They either eat somebody's marijuana brownies or somebody accidentally put something in that drink, and that's what we have here. That's a plot of the accidental drug scene that came out of nowhere.
And it was the worst scene ever. It was terrible.
Not funny.
It came out of nowhere, and that's exactly where it went.
And as someone who's taken mushrooms, no one does that.
And it's moments like that where the lead, I mean, honestly, I was sitting there feeling embarrassed for that guy. I'm like, man.
Craig Robinson?
Craig Robinson.
That guy?
That guy. The guy. Yeah.
That black dude at the
black guy, the black one.
Give him a break. We just saw a movie about Jackie Robinson.
Like, wait,
you didn't say that.
Isn't this guy a baseball player? Why is he so afraid to come out?
I felt so bad for Jackie Robinson in this movie, man.
You got this whole black family there, all excited about Moby Dick Day, and it culminates on that day, and there's no great white whale joke there anywhere to be made.
I kept scratching my head going, why does this family give two shits about Moby Dick?
Exactly. Well, you know what? My question was similar to that. My question was, why would these writers think a black family would give a shit about Moby Dick? To this point.
Like, by the way, you know who reads Moby Dick? You know what black people read Moby Dick?
Which one?
Black people with class, Leon.
You mean bougie? Like you keep saying?
Bougie. That's why you've never read Moby Dick.
Okay, well, call me Ishmael. I can't see you going to Moby Dick Day. Okay, sure, you can read Moby Dick. Hey, man, it's in school. It's a classic. But to have a whole day and your little town built around that's goddamn ridiculous.
I'm sure there's a book on tape on Tyler Perry's shelf with Moby Dick.
You know, the one way it plays into Tyler Perry is that Tyler Perry hates rich black people. And once again, he's like, hey, this is what happens when black people get money. They turn into assholes and buffoons. There you go. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Give me some money.
So Craig Robertson is the magical Negro to a whole family of black people.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going like, I'm the poor black guy who still knows what truth and honesty and love is all about.
Well, all the white people were taken, so I had to find some bougie black people to be a magical Negro for.
I was honestly a little surprised that we didn't have any moments here where we actually saw black people being afraid of other black people like we do in the Tyler Perry movies. I was waiting for those scenes to really come.
Well, like I said, Tyler Perry didn't write this.
But he must come around and go like, you need to make them a bigger asshole.
Yeah, he just produced on that.
I can understand why he put his name on it.
I mean, really, it's probably just something that they just got Tyler Perry to put his name on. He probably had nothing to do with
Perry,
it.
sir, please, I'll suck your dick.
You sells my movies.
How many black people are in this movie? Well, all right.
I tell you what, though, man, I did like Craig Robinson's interaction with that actor Tyler James Williams.
Oh, the one playing his brother?
No. The one.
From
Simon.
Everybody Hates Chris.
The kid from Everybody Hates Chris.
Yeah.
Because he plays his character named Simon. He's the youngest of the Peeples family, and and Craig Robinson comes in and he treats him like he wants to be treated. He wants to be treated hood. Yeah. And Craig Robinson comes in and he says, hey, what's up, Si? Like, Si, man,
He's the nerdy, dorky black kid that really is trying to get some street cred. And I'll tell you one reason why I love that character. Because it reminded me of this guy right here.
The whole time I'm sitting there watching a movie, that's all I kept thinking about. These are the adventures of young Korey.
did too. I was like, oh,
he gets one guy to come in and call him Youngblood. He's like, whoa, yeah, me.
That's right. You can call me K. Coolman.
Yeah. What's up, K. Coolman? I like that.
Y'all just mad.
You see, Dad?
Y'all just mad because I'm respected in the streets.
Oh, yeah.
Mostly on the bridges and in dark corners.
Sure, Sesame Street on Ice is giving you all kinds of credit.
Got my Sesame Street cred, man. Muppets love me, goddamn. I hate to be the guy to say this. You know, I'm not trying to hate black. You just hate me, man, because I read Moby Dick. Don't hate me because granted, I read the comic book, but
you read it because you thought it was a porno.
Yeah.
Dick? Let me see who this Moby is.
Yeah.
You know what they mean by a whale, don't you?
Yeah.
No, man, that's not even real slang.
Yeah. It wasn't even Moby.
I see. He's trying to harpoon him.
Yeah, it wasn't even called Moby Dick. It was Moby's Dick.
That's why your mom was like, Korey?
I don't know. I saw a page where there was some poon going on.
Man, I didn't know this was gay porn. I might read something with some character named Queerquay.
But man, you know, I hate to be this guy, but as we evolve, are black people's eyes getting bigger? Because
Why you say that?
Because between this kid, Tyler James Williams, and the guy that played Craig Robinson's brother, Malcolm Barrett. Those fools got some of the biggest eyes I have ever seen.
Tyler James Williams. I mean, yes, he just naturally has big eyes. Mm-hmm. But what's the other guy's name?
Malcolm Barrett.
He's a clown.
No,
he's just doing that on purpose.
Yeah. No, straight up clowning, man. He's almost like a penny knockoff of Dave Chappelle.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking. I was like, man, did this guy just watch some Dave Chappelle and he's trying to like steal his career?
Yeah, did somebody clone Dave Chappelle and then let the batter dry? You know what I mean? No, that dude's he's in a lot of commercials. He's actually pretty funny. I think he's on a TV show.
Not in this movie.
Oh no.
No,
I thought he was terrible. I mean, y'all talk about Craig Robinson. I thought this guy was the worst.
I don't think Craig Robinson was terrible. I liked him. I just said
he served his purpose. You're just like when you look at everybody acting, you're like, okay, you're the
Craig Robinson succeeds despite himself.
But I mean, I thought this guy was the worst actor. Also, like all his jokes before he showed up at the house, those felt so flat that I felt embarrassed for him.
And I didn't know why they felt the need to crowbar him in, like halfway through, like almost toward the end of the movie.
They had enough people in this movie, man.
No, Tyler Perry said, "I'll do it, but it needs one more black person."
I have a quota. I have to put the black community to work.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get this young blood's career started. I'm trying to help him out. He's been doing these commercials.
Yeah, exactly, man.
I mean, shit. He makes any more movies, he got to put us in them.
I'm waiting.
Why do you think he's
Me
going to tell us
too.
we like every Tyler Perry movie? I'm gonna make out with Kerry Washington.
Man, Kerry Washington was actually good, I thought, in this.
Yeah, I mean, she's not a bad actress, and that's when it becomes how clear how not a great actor Craig Robinson is, though, when they're together, and it's always these moments that are supposed to be convincingly intimate, and she's really acting her ass off, and he's just Craig Robinson.
Yeah, exactly. And see, Kerry, exactly. And Kerry Washington, the reason why I'm giving her praise is because I think she's a good comedic actress. I mean, look, I ain't saying she needs to go and do comedy because I don't think she's got it to carry a whole movie by herself. But I'm just saying she was actually pretty funny in this. And
she needs to do a scary movie.
And you know what, Kerry Washington, she's not afraid to act with some dark-skinned, like really black brothers. I mean, you ain't gonna see Zoe Saldana ever do anything like this.
Oh hell,
never,
ever.
Hell, she threw her ass into space to get away from that. Star Trek movies.
You know what, man? I really don't hate this movie. My disappointment is that it actually starts out amusing. Not great, not even really funny, but amusing.
Maybe not starts.
Yeah, because when it started, I thought it was terrible. I was like, oh, damn, I was
Okay, once he gets to the island.
When they get to the house, once David Alan Grier shows up, that's when it picks up. And it's like, you know what? There's some genuinely funny moments in here, and it's going for a while. I'm like, you know what? This turned around. I like that. But what happens is when you get to the second half, it's just kind of the same jokes over and over. You can't keep laughing at the same joke over and over, and they just don't bring anything new to it.
Yeah, even at the end of the movie, they bring it's brought together so bad. I mean, they bring everybody's story to a close. Even the dog ran in. Seriously, they have a dog. Even the dog sealed up his story at the end, and he had nothing to do with the movie. I mean, he was right on cue. But what do you want us to tell you? It's not even a sitcom. It's a bad sitcom. They took a lot of bad jokes from sitcoms that it's all right when you're watching it for 30 minutes, but to watch them literally pad a movie out with bad jokes and only have a handful of them that work. I'm talking about a section of this movie works. And after that section, it's downhill from there. I'm giving this an extremely low rental.
I don't know if there's anything I can really add to what you said and everything else we said. You hit it right on the money.
Yeah, we don't have to elaborate.
No. There's no reason to elaborate. I mean, I'd probably just give it just a regular rental. But, oh, man.
What you thinking?
Uh-oh.
You in conflict again.
I'm in conflict.
Being torn apart right now.
I'm going to slap the shit out of you if it's between rental and low rental. I mean, if you really argue with yourself over that.
We need a new term.
I know. Man, I want to give it a rental, but it's kind of a low rental, too. I'm so confused.
What's between a bullshit and a rental?
It's a medium-low rental.
Yeah, that's what it is.
No, it's not.
It's a rental shit. There you go.
Phil's new 48-point rating system.
Shintle. No, man, it's a rental. God damn it!
Yeah, it's just a rental.
It's a rental.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. You guys said everything there is. I mean, I think I liked it a little bit better than you did, Korey.
Did you? Okay.
Because I think it's a sitcom. I don't even think it's a terrible sitcom. It's just a sitcom, and which has no business being in a movie theater, quite frankly. That just makes it more frustrating because it's a sitcom that's an hour and a half long. So yeah, it's a rental. There's some charm to it, to be sure, but nothing to go out of your way for.
Co-host.
I don't know. Yeah,
I know where you going. I already know where you going.
You know what? There's a certain shake into his head that he does.
Yeah, he looks down at the ground.
Yeah, look at the ground.
If I forgot to mention, the only laughs I really got out of this, like you guys, were the incredibly bad comedy music that they were throwing in. All that shit.
They had that band, that bad studio band. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah.
And that guy, I hate this guy, but I kind of like him because he makes me laugh. Because almost every scene in this movie ends with.
You make it sound
noises.
like Seinfeld.
Oh, that's the sound. She's gonna wow 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 wow.
That's right. That's the wow wow.
Every time they in the
that
scene,
Fat Albert. Wow 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 wow.
every time they're in the scene and they like panning in on the family or panning away from the house, but wow 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 wow.
That's the only time I laugh, along with the unintentional crazy shit they throw in the background, especially David Alan Grier's dad portrait that he has on that wall where he's looking all sophisticated.
Oh, and don't forget about young Korey.
Young Korey too. Yeah. Oh man, you know what? It was teetering on bullshit, and I was almost drowning in it. But I'm gonna give it a rental.
Oh man,
Yeah, see, even the Christmas spirit has touched even the cold.
Oh, did we give you a heart, man? At the end of
No.
He's almost saying, man, if you black people weren't so funny, I would have given some bullshit.
You know me. You know how much I love black shenanigans.
Yeah, I know. I would have given a matinee. It'd been Asian people. Poking like this. Oh, meet the Reapers.
Oh, God. When's that playing?
I just want to say how thankful I am to be here with you. You raised a remarkable woman. Oh, not my baby Grace.
Peeples.
Virgil's no angel. Now, I can tell you some things.
Now free.
Woo! Get that out of your head. Get that out of your head.
Wait, you saw his man bits?
Every time I close my eyes.